Mo's on the show with me next. What are you saying, Mo?
About time, Terry. It's about time you got this deal done. But I'm happy, man. I've got a big smile on my face. We've got a proper footballer in now, Frankie de Jong. I thought I would never ever see him play for United because I've always heard about him, Terry, like de Jong, but I've never seen him play. But I've heard he's a good player for Barcelona and Ajax, and everyone's called him a baller. But now apparently he's not a baller because he signed for Man United. So apparently he's gone rubbish now. But yeah, it's a start, Terry, man. It's a start to getting some business done for Man United. Obviously, the new boss is in charge of the hot seat now. I think he's taking his first training session. Everyone's coming back now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Terry. If we get, hopefully we'll get the de Jong deal done. I want to get Anthony, Terry. If we get Anthony, you put Anthony on the right, Sancho on the left, put de Jong there, we're cooking. But if Anthony comes, Terry, one question: where do you play Marcus Rashford?
From the start of the season on the bench.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Terry,
that's it. Like for me, with the way I think we're going to play under Ten Hag, Anthony almost starts the season. He ain't that young. He's 22, turning 23 this year. He's not a baby. No. Anthony on the right, Sancho on that left-hand side, Bruno, or if we sign him, someone like Eriksen in that holding or Ronaldo up front. Now, Rashford's going to get an opportunity. Rashford will get played as a sub from the bench, and he'll come on to cover the left, and he'll come on to cover the central position of Ronaldo primarily. I think you might see Rashford used centrally a little bit more this year because we don't have other strikers. But Rashford starts the season on the bench, and then he has to then fight and go, right, well, every time I come on, I'm going to score. Every time I'm going to come on, I'm going to influence the game, and I'm going to force my way into the first team. But there's two things to remember. There's Europa League football. So you've got the third Sunday thing, which means there'll be a lot of more rotation than generally in the Champions League. Secondly, there's 5 subs. And I've defended Arsenal when people have said they're buying too many players, 5 subs. We were able to throw on 2 more substitutes in games, which are beyond tactical. It's just to freshen up positions. So players being on the bench now in football isn't going to worry them as much. Even with Donny, if we had 5 subs last year, Donny would have got brought on in most games. It was just in the top 3 subs to come on. So now you've got 5, the likes of Donny, the likes of Rashford, they're going to get far more opportunity to try and impress the manager from the get-go. And for me, that's only a positive.
I just want to add 2 more things. I saw Donny, he had a big smile on his face. So that was good to see Donny actually smiling and not throwing chewing gum at people. Secondly, with Marcus Rashford, people are talking about, when he was under Van Gaal, he's going to become that poacher, that electric pace. I'm thinking, guys, he's lost half a yard of pace. His game was dependent on that pace. He's lost half a yard of pace. And if this guy, Anthony, comes, for Marcus Rashford to be a successful Man United, Terry, he has to change his game. If he plays the way he's playing, Terry, from last season, it is no improvement. What I mean is, if he's running into blind alleys and he's running into stationary players and there's no end product and he's taking corners and shooting, Terry, he's not going to last long there because he'll get in the bench and he's going to have to move. This is a big season for him. This is a make or break season. If they get Anthony, it's going to be a make or break season. I see him basically next year leaving United. If they get Anthony, Terry, he's not better than Anthony. He's not better than Sancho. That's facts.
Mate, listen, and absolutely entitled, to that opinion and thought and feeling. And it holds water. Like what you're saying isn't mad, crazy, or delusional, or like so far off the beaten track, nobody's going to kind of buy into it. A lot of people agree with what you're saying, but that's how Man United should be. I'm a big fan. Everybody knows how big a fan I am of Rashford. Everyone knows I'm a big fan of Rashford. Everyone knows that. But I don't care about his future more than Man United. And if you care about an individual player more than your own football club, you have to take a long, hard look at yourself. Your parents have failed you. You're not a proper football fan. Mo, that's only a flippant joke. Mo, thanks for coming on, my friend, and having your say. Top man.
Big up, Terry. Thanks.
Thank you. Next on the show, we're going to get a rival on. Jason's here. What are you saying, Jason?
I'm good. A good birthday, lad. So all good.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. I mean, looking at the deal, actually, like I saw today, 56 million for Frankie de Jong is an absolute steal. And I feel like seeing I'll always see it on Twitter, various social media outlets laughing at Manchester United, but never sleep on all the rivals that has been there. Chelsea's going to do business. Manchester United is going to be doing business. Liverpool's doing business. And you know what? Transfer windows looking really hot as well. And I just want to say, like, I'm looking at the squad, right? I don't think you have a bad squad, actually, looking at it. I mean, you have the likes of, obviously, under Ten Hag. Do you think that Donny van der Beek's going to be coming back on? Or like, is he going to play alongside Frankie de Jong or alongside midfield three? Or
I think it depends on what we do. Listen, if we play 4-3-3,
yeah,
then he can play. If we play 4-2-3-1, there's still talk that he can play. Like the thing is, when we play 4-2, it all depends who we're playing. If we're playing teams like Palace at home, you can play him in a double pivot because he'll just go further forward. Like a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3 are not overly different formations. It's all about the positions you take up during the game, if that makes sense. But it's about rotation and it's about these 5 subs. And I think that just like with Arsenal looking at the multiple players, you don't need to worry about who your main 11 is. I don't think there's going to be a main 11. It's a condensed season because of the World Cup. Almost, unless you go out of the cups in Europe early, it's almost at 2 games a week for the top 6 because they're all in Europe. So you need all these people, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I mean, to be fair, when I look at the United squad, you don't really have that much of bad players. Like you still have Ronaldo, you still have Bruno, you still have, you know what? We know who really are going to interest me for next season, right? I feel like it might be controversial, but I feel like Fred might do bits for under like Ten Hag, right? I feel like there's a player under there. I feel like Fred like is a player there, and then there's quite a few players that you can actually rotate alongside, and also Eriksen's coming through as well. Things are looking good actually, but you know what? Time will tell actually under Ten Hag, and you know what? Exciting time for you guys. You should be excited.
I am. Jason, happy birthday, my friend. Thanks for supporting the Terrace, and we'll chat again soon. Top man. Thank you. Marcus is on the show next. Manchester United fan, I believe. What are you saying, Marcus?
Hey, Terry. It's good to be on the show. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Frankie de Jong deal and just Manchester United in general, because I feel like a lot of people are trying to find a negative where there isn't one. Yes, we still need to sign a lot of players and address a lot of issues in the team. But I feel like for the first time since Fergie retired, we all have a manager at Manchester United who we all agree is a really good manager. And the first signing we're going to make, we all agree is a really quality signing, regardless of the price. And so because rival expectations are low, everybody's laughing at us, nobody really expects us to do that well next season, I feel like we're in a really good place, weirdly enough. And I feel like we could be on the brink of something special. Now, obviously, we have to wait to see what happens in the rest of the window. But I genuinely feel like, it's going to be a smooth ride for Manchester United fans next season. I don't know. Am I weird for thinking that way?
Smooth ride. See, what people will do is they'll take you, they'll go too far and go, what do you mean smooth ride? Like it's all going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. Football never is, even for the best teams. But I think people are just completely writing Man United off. The level of manager and coach, forget manager, the level of coach we've now got is absolutely fantastic. We are going to build things that we haven't had before. Now, where he's going to really earn his money is managing the team, maintaining the enthusiasm, the work rate, the professionalism, making sure people work hard. But this is one of the reasons he's going into a club, and sometimes you have to look at scenarios more than the what's going on, not looking at things so literally and actually looking at the overall scenario and picture, give it more of a holistic view. All the examples of a manager people give of managers not taking players from previous clubs and trying to instill them into their new club. Show me an example where these managers joined. Show me where Pep Guardiola, whose name's been used, or Klopp, joined one of the biggest clubs in the world who's been a mess for a decade and have been asked to fix it.
Yeah. You can't.
Yes, Liverpool weren't winning titles, but only a year earlier, they nearly won the Premier League. Yes, you've taken their squad to a whole new level, but Liverpool were not looked at as being in a mess like they are now. If it had taken over from the Hodgson point, where they were at, or the end of Hicks and Gillette, I think he might have taken 2 or 3 of his people with him, as in his players if he could, because what you need to do very quickly is have 3, 4, 5 people around you on the field of play, doing everything you ask and understanding it. And then in the dressing room, when you're not there, talking to the other players and getting them on board. The fact that that's being ignored is actually a beautiful thing for me as a Man United fan, because That there is how Manchester United will improve. And those players will instill the positivity and they'll help instill the standards. Plus, some of these players are better than what we've already got in those areas. You bring in Anthony, you bring in Martinez, you bring in De Jong. These players are a step up to what we already have on the right-hand side of the attack. Because none of our players, we've got no one that's good on the right. Even Sancho left. So look, I agree with you. I think this could be a very exciting summer for Man United. Not complete, not back to where we want to be, but an exciting step forward, no doubt.
Yeah, I also want to say that with regard to the whole talent ID thing, I think it is weird because people don't acknowledge the fact that Manchester United have a lot of dressing room issues, right? Like there's a lot going on behind the scenes at that club that needs to be sorted out. So obviously, as a manager, you're going to want to bring in people that you trust, people that you know, and that isn't exclusive to the coaching staff. It's also like with the players and the quality of your squad. And I think that Frankie de Jong, someone like Timber, someone like even Anthony, him bringing them over for me isn't a massive concern because yes, it is unusual for a manager to just overly obsess on bringing players from a place he's managed before. But people act like Ten Hag hasn't developed other players. People act like Ten Hag hasn't signed players from other clubs at previous teams that he's managed and they've gone on to do great things. Exhibit A, Ajax. So I think people need to chill with the whole talent ID thing and just wait and see what happens, really. Like, just wait and see what happens. Let's see if these players that Ten Hag brings in are actually good. But I'm fully behind him because I don't think he should be trusting anyone in that dressing room. I think he should be bringing people that he's familiar with and being very skeptical from day one of all the players that we know are problems, not just on the pitch, but also off the pitch, you know? I don't think that's a crime.
Mate, it isn't a crime. And I just implore United fans to relax. And these scenarios are what they are. Plus, depends on where you're coming from and who you're going to. If he was leaving peak Barca, Real Madrid right now, leaving Bayern Munich right now, he wouldn't be able to bring his best players with him because those clubs wouldn't allow the sales. Did you get where I'm coming from? And if, by the way, Barca were being run well and Frankie was being utilized in his strongest position and they were flying high, they wouldn't be selling him. The reason they're selling him is because after everything that's gone on, they want to go in a new direction. They want to recoup some money. And they also, the biggest reason, people keep saying, he's not good enough. Look what they're doing with Dembele. They've said to Dembele, you can stay, but you've got to take a £5 million a year pay cut. They've told De Jong, if you want to stay here, we're going to do you have to do a new deal and we're halving your money because they've been hemorrhaging. So this isn't about Barca not wanting the talent. It's about Barca not being able to afford the talent, which is the issue. But of course, if you ignore the facts, the banter's there, isn't it? But there we go. Listen, Marcus, great call, my friend. Thank you for coming on and having your say. I appreciate it, my guy. Top man. Thank you.